If you, my friend, want to start a social media marketing agency or a digital marketing agency, you do not need a website or a bunch of fancy softwares to get started. In fact, you barely need any money at all. You can literally get started with way less than $100 or €100. And this is why I think starting an agency is the most logical thing to do if you want to start an online business. Because if you look at most online businesses, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna need money to start them off. If you look at drop shipping, right? You've got to pay for a website, you've got to set up the website, source products, and you've actually got to pay for the ads to get customers. If you look at Amazon FBA, you've got to put a ton of money into buying inventory and buying stock. Before you ever make money, you got to horse a load of your money into that stock. And if you want to start trading, whether that's crypto, Forex, or stocks, you need capital, right? You need money to actually trade with. Whereas with a service-based business like SMMA, where you are finding clients that need a service that you can offer, it's very, very profitable, which is the first thing, but you don't need cash to start off. Profit margins are anywhere really from 60 to 80+% on average. And as I mentioned, you can literally get started with less than $100 or €100. So all you're risking is your time investment at the very beginning. You're not really risking any capital, any cash, it's just your time. Now before we go any further, I just want to mention that my Instagram DMs are open. If you have any questions about SMMA, freelancing, getting clients, scaling up your agency, or anything like that, shoot me a message, let me know what you need help with, and I'll see if I can help you out. Right, so back to the video, right? What do you actually need then, right? I've told you that you don't need a ton of money to start, and I've told you that you can do it for less than 100. But what do you actually need? That's what we're gonna get into now. Now, of course, before you start looking at what softwares do I need and what do I actually have to pay for, you've got to understand the business model a little bit first. So I'm just gonna give you some fundamentals that you need to follow if you wanna start. So the first thing that you need is you need to have a niche. And if you don't know what a niche is essentially just a section of an industry that is slightly unique, okay? So for example, let me just give you an example because it's way easier to explain that way. Your niche could be online consultants, your niche could be physical car dealerships, or your niche could be something completely different. There's really no limits to what your niche can be, but the key thing here is to pick a niche that is very specific. You don't want to say, I'm going to target e-commerce businesses, because that is a ginormous, absolutely huge niche. That is more so just a section of the world, right? You want to get more granular and more specific. I've made other videos about this, but basically it just makes your life easier. I'm not going to get into a ton of details why, but it makes your life a lot easier and it makes signing clients way, way easier. So you've got your niche dialed in. Let's say you're going to work with gyms. Okay, now you've got to obviously offer them something. So now you've got to actually offer these gyms something. Okay, so you've got to find a service that you can offer. Now you don't want to just pick any random service. You want to pick a service that they're actually going to get value from, right? There's no point going to gyms that are already set up and saying, hey, I'll redo your website, because they already have a website. They're not really too concerned about that. What they want is they want something that's going to either save them a ton of time or going to make them more money and get them more customers. Your service can be anything from content creation to social media management to Facebook or TikTok ads. Now at this stage, you're 80% there. You've got your service, you've got your niche, and those are the two key things you do need. Now what you got to move on to is looking at the approach that you're going to use to actually get clients, right? How are you going to find these businesses and how are you going to convince them to part with their hard-earned money and pay you? So what you want to do is you want to come up with some messages that you can send to these businesses. Now, again, I'm not going to go into a ton of detail on what the perfect message looks like because we would be here for 30 minutes. But the basis of this is that you don't send them a pitch and you don't send them a paragraph. Okay, I'm just going to repeat that one more time because I feel like 90% of people do this when they're starting off. Don't send the business a pitch and don't send them a big paragraph. Also, don't talk about yourself. If you message Mr. Gym Owner and you say, hey, I'm a social media marketer and I can do X, I can do Y, I can do Z, they are going to delete that email, message, or whatever you've sent to them very, very quickly. You have to go in, ask them a genuine question, give them a form of value, and start an actual conversation. Gone are the days of just shooting off a pitch about, hey, I can do social media and getting a client. It's just not how it works anymore. If you do that 99 times out of 100, you will get either blocked, deleted, or just ignored. Nobody likes to be spammed and nobody likes to be pitched. So to give you some rough ideas on what you can do is you can build something that you can give to them, whether that's a free case study, a free training video, or maybe you're going to offer a free audit to them. Something that you can offer for free where you're not pitching, you're giving them value. Now at this stage we've got service, niche, and we've got some messages that we think will work pretty well. Now what we've got to go and do is come up with the actual packages that we're going to offer, because we have to have a price in mind for if they're a good fit. So if we're on a call with them and they like what we have to offer, they trust us and like what we're talking about, we need to have a package to offer, okay? When you're starting off, your packages, in my opinion, should start pretty low. You should not try and charge 2, 3, or 4K a month when you're starting off. If you do so, it's going to take you a really long time to get your first client. When you're getting your first client, you want to get experience as well. So in my opinion with this, you should undercut yourself at the start. You should undercharge to get experience, get their trust, and see if you actually enjoy doing this. So charging 2, 3, 4, 5, or even 600 per month for social media, maybe some ads or something like email marketing, that's not the end of the world. I know people will tell you you've got to charge 2 or 3K a month minimum when you're starting off because you deserve it and you've got value to give to them, and that's all great, but it's just very hard to do so. And also you want to make sure you can actually help them. So if you charge them 3 grand and you have no idea what you're doing, well, you've just charged them a lot of money. Whereas if you charge them a couple hundred, it gives you more room to get experience, figure things out, and make sure you improve your service as you go. So those are kind of like the basics you need. Now in terms of tools, right, let's get back to the money aspect. What do you actually need? Now what I would recommend you do is you do spend a little bit of money. You can start an agency with 0, but I just wouldn't really recommend it. What you should do is you should buy a domain, a website domain for your agency, or it can be under your personal name, it's completely fine, and get yourself a professional email. So when you're reaching out to a business via email, or if you've reached out to them on Instagram, and now if you're communicating with them over email, you want to come across as very professional. You don't want it to be john123@gmail.com. It's just not really going to look too good. So to get yourself a domain, it's probably going to cost you 10 to 12 euro per year. To get yourself a professional email is going to cost you probably anywhere from 5 to 10 euro per month. You're really looking at paying about 10 to 12 euro per month to get started. If you start an agency and you do it for 5 months and you don't sign any clients and you quit, you've only put in about maybe 50 or 60 euro. Now, of course, once you start getting clients and you start making money, reinvest some of the money, right? Get better tools, make yourself look more professional, and get yourself stuff that's going to make your life easier. And so I'm going to give you a few examples of those now, that if you do have clients or you want to go and start this, but you know that you're going to stick with this for 1 or 2 years, then you can get all of these tools in place now. So some of the tools and softwares I've used to kind of automate some of our business and just help it run a little bit more smoothly to get to that 50K a month mark, which is what we're currently at. I've paid for ActiveCampaign, which is a CRM and an email automation software. Really, really helpful. Paid for Zapier, which essentially connects applications. So you can connect a spreadsheet to your Slack channel, or you can connect the spreadsheet to your CRM, and it just makes things flow very nicely. Calendly Pro, the Pro version is going to allow you to do some extra things that you can't do on the free version. Slack Pro is going to allow you to invite clients and guests into your workspace alongside your team members, so that you can have different channels for your team and different channels to communicate with your clients. And Zoom Pro is just going to allow you to basically run meetings that are longer than 40 minutes. And this mightn't seem like a big deal, but if you're on a sales call and it starts going past 40 minutes and you've got to end the call, it's just not very professional, right? It's a bit of a nuisance and you might actually lose the person and they might click onto something else. So there's other things I use, but these are kind of the main things that I would look at if you're making money, you're getting clients in, and you want to invest into some tools that will make your life easier. Also, I just want to mention that you don't really have to set up a limited company or an LLC when you're starting off an agency. You can do this as a sole proprietor, a sole trader. Start off as yourself, and as you start getting clients coming in, you've got money, you've got revenue, you can just pay for an accountant or someone to set that up for you. So to recap, yes, you do not need a ton of money to start SMMA. I would recommend you do put in some money, right? So around 10 to 12 euro per month. You can start it with nothing, but it's going to make you more established, more authoritative, and just easier to trust. And as I mentioned, if you have any questions about SMMA and you want to get my advice, my help, or my opinion on something, hit me up on Instagram. My username is Adam Walsh, ADAMWLSH. And as always, if you got value from the video, please do drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.